Whoa, jingle! Happy time has just begun. Brother, sister, smart, dumb, fun. Yeah!
I have good news, Ann Brothers.
What's the good news?
It's 1 minute after noon on a Sunday, and we are both drinking. We are dancing. We are drinking. Look how pretty your drink is. You can't see my drink. I went for the insulated cup here, so you can see the glory of Ann's Aperol Spritz. So
And I
beautiful.
also want to mention that the orange on the as my garnish, I fucking grew this orange, bitches.
That's right. Ann Brothers growing oranges in the state of Michigan. The good news is, Ann, when climate change takes over the state of Michigan, you will be one of those people that is qualified to grow the oranges. Good job.
Yeah.
I'll just be one of those losers who has to rely on you to grow my oranges for me.
Yeah. I grew
So, yeah.
like half a dozen oranges this year. The biggest one was like this big. Yeah. So grew oranges in Michigan.
This is also the person that grew a banana in Michigan as well.
Yeah, I've grown bananas in Michigan, made banana nut bread with the bananas I grew. Yeah. So what do my younger employees say? That's a flex. That's a flex.
See, the cool thing, Ann, by you working with young people now, you are getting all of the relevant slang again. Welcome back to relevant slang. You are right in the middle of it. So
Yeah, I haven't been in the midst of relevant slang for 10 years. So yeah, I'm back.
Bet.
Exactly. Whatever.
Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly right. So yes, happy Sunday, everybody. Here we are. This is the last Sunday of January, which always feels kind of good. And again, I do not like to wish my life away, but I do not like the month of January. It just feels
long.
What is it? How would I describe? January feels like Axe body spray smells. There it is.
It was funny because I was working yesterday and on Friday, and one of my jobs is we sell pastry from a number of bakeries in the area, and so one of my jobs is to sell the pastry. And man, for like most of January, every day we had all this pastry left over because people weren't buying it. Not Friday and Saturday. I was like, ooh, New Year's resolutions are over.
Yeah, it's we are going into that. We just finished the third week of January, which means, and we're going to actually talk about that today because that's one of our categories of winter blues, is that your resolutions are over. I will say this. I went to the gym yesterday and it was a little bit light in there yesterday, no doubt. The parking lot was packed and it wasn't anybody that was at the gym. They were all at the bowling alley next to the gym.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was like, dang. Everybody's like, yeah, I want the Nutella donut.
Wait. Did you just say Nutella donut?
Yeah, from Crust Bakery. They have a brioche donut that's filled with Nutella. Jenny, the thing weighs like 1.5 pounds. And
Dude,
it is just okay. So you know how you have the little donut hole?
Yeah.
You know, the little hole where all the this is like weeping Nutella. So it's kind of gross, but you want it at the same time.
Which is pretty much the entire catalog of Little Debbie snacks. They're all gross, and I always want them.
Yeah, exactly. And the last one yesterday, this kid came up. He was probably like 9. He's like, "Do you have any Long Johns?" I'm like, "No, young man, but we do have a Nutella donut." He's like, "I want that, but I have to ask my dad." I'm like, "Go for it, young man." So guess what he got?
Dad is going to be thanking you.
Exactly. Divorced dad was all over that. So
Disneyland Dan's like, you go get that donut, boy.
You go get that donut. That's bigger than your head. You should definitely have that much sugar in the morning. Ooh, it was awesome.
Fantastic.
And I sold it to him. Making America great again and again.
And that's why we here at the Brother Sisters LLC try not to get too political because we're trying to, to take a break for that. But I honestly believe if you're going to make America great again, you need to do it with snack food and donuts and baked goods because honestly, Ina Garten is right. All I know is, like I said, I basically have just been quoting Ina Garten pretty much continuously since I finished her book last week. I'm like, Ina says this, and Ina says that, and Ina says this. And I'm like a little Ina Garten robot right now. It's awesome.
I'm going to look up prayer candles of Ina Garten for you, Jenny.
There
That's
is
your
one.
next
One
prayer
exists.
candle. Mhm.
Yeah, she's my new saint. Honestly, it's like one day she's going to be on this show, Ann Brothers. One day you and I are going to be sitting here talking to Ina Garten, and it's going to be the greatest because I really do think she's just a neat lady. And just in terms of feminist icons that you should worship her. So,
Worship her.
anyway.
She knows. All right, Jenny, I'm sending you an image of one right now.
Fantastic. I will put that in my house to go with my other prayer candles, which include Betty White, B. Arthur, and Moira Rose. So
And Princess Leia.
and Princess Leia.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got a nice collection of prayer candles, and honestly, Ina Garten deserves to be. She's in good company there for sure.
She would be an excellent company.
Yes. All right. So we are here. We are. Like I said, it's the last week of January, and this was the first week in a long time that it felt genuinely wintry. We had a nasty little polar vortex peek its little head down here. So basically Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and the first half of Wednesday. So we had a lot of not school this week because of the cold, which you will talk about when we do our synopsis because it's a unique thing. So we thought we would do a little bit of, we'll call it Ann and Jenny Brothers winter blues therapy, which involves eating and drinking because that's one of the things that we do best. Now, in our defense, we also did talk about going out and moving your body and meeting with friends and having exercise and things like that. So it's not just drinking. There's also some other little bits of advice that we have for enjoying the rest of this winter. I always forget that there are people that love winter. They love it.
I work with a
so weird.
bunch of young women who are like, I love winter because then I wear all my sweaters and I'm all cozy. I was like, dang,
Yeah. I know, right? It's really funny. So
good for them.
So let's jump into it. Yes, good for them indeed. We are going to eat, drink, and be Merbury. Like instead of being merry, it's like Marbury, which is like it's like that in between time of January and February. That's right. This is the Brother Sisters Guide to Eating and Drinking Your Way Through Winter. Because it's what we do best. Honestly, the bears have it right. I mean, really, they do. They eat and eat and eat and eat and eat all fall. Then they go to sleep for months. And then when they get up, they're super skinny and ready to start eating again. I'm like, oh.
Exactly. Skinny and hungry. I'm like, my dream.
Skinny, hungry, and I'm justified in eating whatever I want and how much of I want. That way, when winter comes, I'm a great big fat bear. And then we can be in the big fat bear contest again. Except when you murder another bear, and then they don't let you be in the contest anymore.
Some people.
I know, right? All right, Ann, why don't you take us through our synopsis this week?
Well, certainly. We're Ann and Janice Brothers. We are sisters, and therefore we are the Brothers Sisters. It just never gets old. We're in our 50s, which means that we are Generation X, and that also means a day off from school for snow was a rarity. I think Jenny and I had one day off from middle school to high school, and that was for ice. So we had one day off in the year, our entire secondary education for snow-related weather. And days off because of cold were non-existent. There was never a too cold. It's not like this cold weather is a brand new thing. There have been very cold times in the past, and you not going to school because it was too cold didn't register with the adults and the caregivers in our lives.
Yeah, it was like, hey, the school building is warm. Go to school.
Exactly. Put a coat on. Why aren't you wearing your scarf?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I get it, because they don't want kids standing out at the bus stops and things like that. I'm like, but we still walked to school when it was cold. And I'm trying not to do that. Well, we walked to school uphill both ways. But in truth, if it was really cold, we put out both Ann and I went to a little Catholic school, where we had to wear skirts. But on those days that it was really cold, we got to wear pants under our skirt. And then in the 80s, we got to wear leg warmers under our skirts.
Exactly. No, it was. I remember the snowmobile suit was a thing. when I was in
Oh, God,
elementary school. And you just
yes.
left your snowmobile suit on and you were safe enough to go anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
Temperature was
that scene from A Christmas Story
Mhm,
when she's bundling up Ralphie's little brother. That's pretty much what it looked like in the brothers'
mhm.
household. That's not, with the scarf that went around everything, and then the only thing that was exposed were your eyeballs. So
Yeah, exactly. And that was, we had
yeah.
recess 3 times a day, which meant that you put
Hmm.
on your snowmobile suit and got bundled up 3 times a day.
Yeah, that way your teachers could smoke while you were out at recess. It made perfect sense. Yeah.
It made perfect sense. They were going to stop smoking because you were cold. Oh, anyway, we talk about
Yeah.
smart stuff, dumb stuff, fun stuff, or any combination of the three. And we're not cool, hip, or sexy. We know this because we go further north in the winter to take vacations, or Chicago, which is another infamously cold place to go in the wintertime. So,
Yeah. We went to the UP for Christmas this year, or for New Year's.
New
Duh.
Year's, duh, exactly. We're not going to sexy Miami. We're going to sexy Marquette. So, there you go.
Just saying that out loud is funny.
It's funny. We're not a true crime, celebrity, or influencer podcast. We are the party catalysts of podcast, and everyone's invited to our party. So there you go.
That is correct. That is
Enjoy.
correct.
Mhm.
There's a lot of podcasts out there. So thanks for joining
Yeah.
us for this particular podcast. That's right.
Exactly.
So we're
We've been
like
told.
Seinfeld. We talk about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. We've been told we're good to listen to when you want to learn things about stuff and you need an excuse to be finished with your 2025 resolutions. I'm happy to give you that excuse.
Correct. You're off the hook. It's fine.
Exactly.
So, yes.
This podcast is not G, PG, or even PG-13, as you heard when I introduced myself in the show about talking about my oranges. So fuck this shit. Let's get going.
All
You
right,
can
nicely
join us. Yeah, thank you. You can join us on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Like us, follow us, smash that bell, and leave us a review. Give us your feedback with our questions and answers and our polls, and you can ask Alexa to play us. She's our bitch. Actually, she's Jenny's bitch, and Alexa knows that Jenny is her bitch. So
Yeah, I'm totally Alexa's bitch. I can't do anything without Alexa anymore. She's my timer. She reminds me to do things. She plays my music. She has me. And she'll never let go.
never.
I just really wish she would make pie. That's the next thing. Can Alexa please make pie?
Yeah,
Or maybe she wants me to make her a pie. I'll make Alexa a pie. Never mind.
Yes, Alexa, whatever you say.
Yes, if you would like pie, I shall make you pie or cupcakes. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, don't forget, you can support us for free. You're listening right now. Support us for free. All you got to do is like, follow, subscribe, leave a review. Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. And you should put the word out. Ask your friends. It's the season of giving. Back? Okay, I'm just going to go with that. It's the season of giving. Give the gift of the brothers, sisters, and let them give the gift of the brothers, sisters as well. And you get to do it for free. It's amazing. Huzzah. Hey, let's talk about smart, dumb, fun stuff, shall we?
Okay, my thing was fun this week. My sister-in-law and friend, Liz, she made Jenny and I t-shirts for our up-and-coming roller derby event that we're going to in February. So she made us shirts with Jenny's Dream, which was our team name, which is the Bruiser Sisters instead of the Brothers Sisters. And then on the back, it has our derby names. And Jenny is Lucille Brawl, and I am Ethel Hertz. So thank you, Liz. I was going to wear it today, but I don't want to wear it yet. I want to wear it on our derby night, which is the 15th of February. And we'll talk a lot more about this event coming up. But I just wanted to give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Liz, who was very meticulous about getting everything we wanted on the t-shirts. And then she mailed them to us. So it's always fun to get a package in the mail that isn't taxes.
Totally.
And so, so we have our t-shirts. I'm super excited. So thank you very much, Liz Williams, and your amazing t-shirt making machine equipment and abilities, and for making us the Bruiser Sisters t-shirts. We're going to be the envy of this event. That's all I have to say.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Totally 100% agreed. Yes. So and I went on both ends of the spectrum because I couldn't decide which. I believe these are both very smart things. For instance, my first smart thing is that Joe and I went over to have dinner at University Roadhouse the other night in beautiful scenic Kalamazoo, Michigan. And as one of their featured January appetizers, they had crab rangoon mozzarella sticks. And I got to tell you, they were a revelation in culinary awesomeness. So they were big to start with, and like most mozzarella sticks basically just fall off the Gordon's food truck and into a bar, and then they knock the freezer burn off them, fry them up, and then hand them to you. Oh, no, no. These were delicious house-made things, and they were like these delicious, crispy, yummy things, and they were like kind of soft and gooey, and they had all of the flavor that you would get in a crab cheese rangoon while also having the gooey yumminess of a mozzarella stick. I'm getting emotional just talking about them. They were so good. And Joe, if you're listening, I just want you to know how much I love you because I did not murder you and take your 2 sticks and eat them.
Exactly. I was going to say you're a good spouse, Jenny. You're
I am a good spouse. So, and that thought did not cross my mind at all as I was enjoying my 2 mozzarella sticks, but I did want 4 more for myself. So, yeah, I'm a good wife. Okay. The other thing is I'm reading the book Challenger right now. It is a nonfiction book. It is about the Challenger disaster in 1986. And all I have to say is, God damn it, NASA, you guys are a bunch of assholes. And the fact that you haven't killed so many more people is a fucking miracle. This book will make you so mad. It will make it makes me, I'm not even so mad. This organization is just straight trash. I have nothing nice to say about NASA right now. What a fucking mess. Sorry. I just swore a lot. And the fact that we've been dumping so much money into this organization that has been broken from the start. Yeah. Complacency, egos, ridiculousness. Yeah, so terrible. Anyway.
Yeah. And not only that, they want us to give them more money.
Yeah, and I can't do it. I'm like, not when they are literally, and everybody talks about, well, all these great things came from NASA. I'm like, yeah, there's some really cool things that came from NASA, but it's amazing how careless and egotistical and ridiculous they were in the process. And yeah, I'm mad. I'm going to be mad for a long time because I've really held NASA up on this great pedestal for all the things they did. And now that I'm reading this book and I've seen the documentary about the Challenger explosion, and I've seen the documentary about the Columbia disaster, and it's like, I can't believe more people haven't died as a result of this. So anyway, the book is great. There's a lot of technical stuff. You kind of have to work your way through that, but it's really interesting getting to know because they take you all the way back to the launch pad fire of 1967 with Apollo 1. That's how the book starts. And then I'm in 1984, and they're talking about the fact that they just launched 2 satellites out of Challenger and lost both of them. So
wow.
Immediately. So yeah, it really is it was this ready, fire, aim way that they've done space flight for years, and it's embarrassing. So yeah. Anyway, the fact that you have private groups now that are looking to do space travel, I'm all for that. Privatize it, get this off the and see if we can't innovate in ways that are safer and better than what NASA has come up with. Ugh. So it's one of those things where people that that rail against government, this is one of the things they're railing about. So, yay. Good book. Makes you mad. All right. So here we are. Let's talk Drinkuary because that's where we are. That's what we're talking about. And again, here's my thing. I believe that in the winter, everything is 40% harder. I have literally no data to support this, but it just feels like it. Like, especially when it snows, driving is 40% harder. Getting stuff into your car is 40% harder. It feels 40% harder to go to the gym. It's this dumb thing. It's a number that I made up randomly because, it just felt like 40%. So anyway, there you go.
It's not quite 50%, but it's definitely more than 30%.
Feels like you could get away with it. So
in this day and age, Jenny, totally can.
Totally. Hey, look at Sam Adamsberger. She's joined us for a second before she has to run off. She says, enjoyed joining you 2 amazing women for a bit. Off to work, a Mozart piano concerto at Betcher Now. One way to beat the winter blues. You know what? That is 100% true, Sam. Going out and doing stuff and enjoying the arts is absolutely one way to do that. We did that early in the month when we went. It was a group and saw Six. That was a real pick-me-up. And I have not been able to stop playing that soundtrack in my head or on Alexa since I saw it because it's great.
It is great. It is great.
Yes. Hey, Sam, I want you to know that I finally have gotten myself moving again. I got off to a slow start preparing for the Detroit Marathon, but I am on it now. So look at me go. Yes. Yay.
Good job,
All
Jenny
right. So
Curtis.
thanks, Sam. Have a good day today. Always glad to have you with us, my friend. Okay. So here we go. All right. So some things that you should know about today's show that both Ann and I, we love to eat. We grew up in a family of uh, I'm going to call us a family of eaters and drinkers, people that have always celebrated food and drink as a way to not just enjoy life, but also a way to cope with life. If I had $1 for all the times I got some, a yummy, pie when I was feeling sad, or, just learned that, hey, candy bars make you feel better. So, because they
Mhm.
do, because science. Okay. So we do. We are occasional drinkers, me more so than Anne, because I really I tended bar for a while. I went to bartender school. And I really just learned to like the craft of it. And there are many drinks that I just think are delicious. So I don't want to abuse alcohol because then I couldn't have it anymore. And I really like enjoying the different types of drinks and the different flavors and the different things. I had one the other night when we were at University Roadhouse. It was this really delicious whiskey sour, but they used real lime juice instead of using sour mix, which sour mix is an abomination as far as I'm concerned. So they used lime juice and they used cranberry juice and they used a little bit of orange juice in it. They put some orange liqueur in it. Ooh, it was so yummy. Just felt like summer. It was delicious. Some of our drinks that we're going to talk about today are alcoholic, some are not. This show is for funsies, and this is intended to use for some mild winter blues stuff. If you think you're having some sort of severe mental health crisis, then please seek professional help. We are not professionals. We are not in any way, shape, or form here to diagnose anything. So just know that this is just for funsies. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Good. All right. With that said, what we did is we went with originally it was going to be 5. I added one more. So we have 6 versions of the winter blues. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these 6 versions of the winter blues, and then we're going to talk about what it is, symptoms, and the Ann and or Jenny brothers cure for said winter blues. All right. So one is seasonal affect disorder, otherwise known as SAD. The other one is subsyndromal seasonal affect disorder, otherwise known as subsad. Number 3 is the post-holiday letdown. Number 4 is winter isolationism. Winter isolationism, otherwise known as cabin fever. The other one is what I like to call resolution regression. And then finally, we have inauguration aggravation. So we've gotten significantly more ridiculous as we've gone down this list. So, but they're real enough to me. So here we
Mhm.
go. All right. So let's start with seasonal affect disorder. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go through these and then we will talk about our food and drink pairings. Okay. All right. So seasonal affective disorder is a form of depression and it's triggered by seasonal changes. Mostly it's triggered by an absence of light and all of the fun things that sunlight gives to us, essentially vitamin D, melatonin, serotonin, those things in your brain that are less regulated when you don't see the sun. It's those I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me when I stop thinking about it. Circadian rhythms. There it is. We have this disruption in our circadian rhythms when we start seeing less sunlight. So your symptoms is that you're fatigued, you don't feel good, you have trouble concentrating, you either don't eat or you overeat, and you end up wanting to not do things with others. You withdraw. It becomes very easy to withdraw from social activities. How to deal with it? Well, my doctor a number of years ago said ingest more vitamin D, that most people walk into winter vitamin deprived anyway. And that, so vitamin D, get some sun. And this is a big one. And this is what most people don't do in the wintertime. We tell ourselves, well, it's cloudy or it's dark. It's cold. I'm not going to go outside. But in truth, you should go outside, even if it's cloudy. You should go outside for a while, even if it's cold, because even if it's cloudy, there's still plenty of the sun's radiation that's getting to us that's still going to trigger that vitamin D response in your body. So go outside, even if it's for a little while, even if it's just to take the garbage out or go sweep your porch or whatever, but spend a little time, even if it's cloudy. Put your coat on, walk around, go for a walk if you can, unless it's, really difficult to go out and walk. So, Anne, would you like to do your drink pairing first, or would you like me to do my drink
No,
pairing
you go ahead,
first?
Jenny. You're on a roll.
All right. Well, my first thing that I said it before, the bears have it correct. Feel free to hibernate a little bit. That way, when you wake up, go to brunch, and you need to try and recreate Anna Esser Burnett's Bloody Mary, which is still the best Bloody Mary I've ever had. The good news is on weekends, there is more than one establishment that has some sort of Bloody Mary bar as part of their brunch. And I highly recommend going to those because A, usually the brunches are delicious and I'm a big fan of brunch. And B, you have lots of great choices of things to put in your Bloody Mary. In fact, a lot of times you just order the Bloody Mary bar and there's so much stuff to put in your Bloody Mary that you don't even have to actually order brunch.
Or what you can get a Caesar, which is what, a Bloody Mary with clamato instead. So you could just murder a Caesar.
I just murder Caesar right now. Yeah. So anyway, my Ann Esther Burnett, she's a friend of mine. Ann and I lived together when we were in Colorado. She had a house. I rented a room from her. And Ann was also a bartender. Literally made the best Bloody Mary I've ever had. She just knew what she was doing. It was this beautiful thing, and it had Worcestershire in it, and it had horseradish, and it was just and Tabasco, and it was so good. And I have never found its equal. So Ann Esther Burnett, still the greatest Bloody Mary maker in the history of making things. So if you happen to be listening, just know that I miss you. I miss you, Bloody Marys. All right, Ann, go for it.
Okay, so I'm all about pretty drinks, and I don't really do too much cocktail making in my own house. I mean, I have like some basic stuff for when people come over, but basically, I'm more about drinking out. Go out someplace and drink. So now this is usually more of a summer thing, but I figured why not? If you need a little summer in your life, put some in a glass. Just like the Italians do. And it's actually the Aperol Spritzer is a aperitif, which means it's a drink you have before you have dinner. So it kind of helps to awaken your appetite. I looked at a bunch of like stuff online about, making these, and especially making a non-alcoholic version. So there are non-alcoholic versions online. I had a number of people describe this drink as super sweet. I don't think it's a very sweet drink. I think it's kind of actually slightly bitter. So, but it's really pretty. And one of the, it's got a number of like herbs and stuff in it. And it's mostly, this is so funny. It's mostly rhubarb extract. So it's like a rhubarb.
That's what it is. Because it has that, it has a very unique taste. There's nothing else that tastes like Aperol.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So it's the rhubarb that you're getting. So yeah, I think it's so pretty, and I always, when you make it at home, I always make it with a very dry prosecco, but you can make it with a much sweeter prosecco. If you want to make really sweeten this drink up, you can make it with a very sweet prosecco. But I always pick a really dry one because I actually really like the taste of this because it's so unusual and nothing really tastes like this. So yay! So it tastes yummy. It's very pretty. It's got a gorgeous glow to it, like the sun. And I think if you're going to go and drink this someplace, whenever I drink this drink, it's usually at Italy in Chicago. And so I think you should drink this drink with a charcuterie platter. So get yourself a nice charcuterie platter with a bunch of meats and cheeses, and drink your spritzer and eat little bits of meat and cheese until you're full. And then maybe have some gelato.
You should absolutely. They have a number of different yummy breads that you can dip into olive oil with various herbs in it as well. Do that too.
Yeah. So any place. Yeah. There's another place that we like to go to in Detroit, and they do. They're a tapas restaurant, and Duncan, what's the name?
LaFeria?
LaFeria, that's it.
LaFeria,
yeah. They do a beautiful charcuterie board, and they have all Spanish cheeses and Spanish meats. So it's very yummy. Usually when I go there, though, I get sangria. But, anyway.
They have an Aperol spritzer. If any good bar is going to have Aperol.
Have an Aperol spritzer.
Yes.
And eat some charcuterie.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. If you're in the Kalamazoo area, you should go to WL Social House. It used to be the old Wine Loft. Now they've rebranded it WL Social House. And they have a fantastic bar. They actually make one of the best old fashions in the city of Kalamazoo. But they also have one of the greatest charcuterie boards ever made. It's actually a steak charcuterie board. So you get two kinds of steak and all these yummy yummies that go with it. Damn, it's delicious. And so you could get an Aperol Spritz and the steak charcuterie board. You guys, we have a special guest in the studio right now. For those of you that see I'm leaning over a little bit, it's because Marla the cat is headbutting my leg right now, demanding her Showtime pets. So that's, if you hear a little squeak, or if you see me distracted, it's because it's Marla Larla who has joined the show. So,
see,
all right, so
we
there
were
you
talking
go.
about meat and cheese. So she's interested as well.
Yes, Marla is a healthy eater, and she was sick for a little while, but she has made a full comeback and has regained her former form. So good job,
Good,
kitten.
good for her.
Yes. All right, so we have next our subseasonal affect disorder, which is a milder version of SAD. And this is what most people, when they're talking about the winter blues, they're talking about this. So it's just one of those things where you have a mild, less intense feelings of sadness, irritability, or fatigue. And I would say I'm there right now. This week kind of put me there because it was the first time in I would say 2 winters that I felt genuinely like it was winter and I was cold and I did not like it. And I don't love being home when it's cold like that because I don't feel like doing anything. Like I had plenty of opportunity to go out and do things this week, but I didn't because it was cold. So I felt like that. So how to deal with it? I didn't do what I should have done, which is to do something outdoorsy if you can, get some sun, or go to the gym, or just do something physically active. Because don't underestimate the power of endorphins and what they can do for you. And when you do a little bit of exercise, your brain releases those endorphins, and though it's hard at the time, afterwards you do have this feeling of just like, hey, I'm going to be okay. And you don't have to go out and work out for 2 hours. It literally is something as simple as just taking a 20-minute walk. And even if it's a 20-minute walk on the treadmill or a 20-minute walk around your house or something, but it's doing that. And again, if you can get outside and get some sun, get that serotonin, get that melatonin in your body flowing. And I also recommend Little Debbie unicorn cakes, which have that effect on me as well. So, all right, Anne, why don't you take the lead on this one?
All right. So if you have subseasonal affect disorder, I recommend hot chocolate with a big dollop of butterscotch schnapps. Man, it will get everything going. It's nice and warm and cuddly. The butterscotch is super sweet along with that super sweet chocolate. So it really wakes you up. Of course, if you are not interested in the alcohol part of it, you can just drink the hot chocolate. That's amazing. I suggest
Totally.
that you find one of those bars that still has their patio winter igloos from COVID season and drink it in there. You get your nice outdoorness, where it's nice and toasty warm inside, all that sun is pouring in, and you're drinking your hot cocoa with your butterscotch schnapps. Ooh, that just sounds so good. And then I suggest you order some deep fried bar food or a wood fired pizza and you share it with people. So get one of those igloos, stuff it full of fun people, drink your hot chocolate and your schnapps, and eat tons of deep fried little bits of food. Boy, you'll feel better in no time.
I got to agree with you. During COVID, Joe and I were still living in Wisconsin, and we were stuck indoors because of COVID. This would have been like January of 2021. And so here we are. It's COVID. It's literally, I don't know, 10, 15 degrees below zero. And there was a little establishment in Osceola, Wisconsin, the Watershed Cafe, and they had put those igloos on their back patio. And so we ended up scoring one of those and had lunch there. And it was a beautiful, frigid and sunny day it literally was like 15 below, but it was really sunny. And so we got one of those, and they have a little space heater in there, and plus the sun coming in. It was delightful. It was like,
Mhm.
A, it was like 70 degrees in there, and B, it was just so nice to sit in the sun for an hour. It was fantastic. So yeah, totally awesome.
Mhm.
I said again, after you do something outdoorsy, there's nothing like any hot beverage to make you feel good. And I learned this when I was hanging out with again my friend Anne, and her and her crew that skied would go ski, and I would go off and snowshoe or something, and then you would come back afterwards and do the après ski thing where you would have like some sort of hot beverage and sit next to the fire after you got done doing something outdoorsy. And it was delightful. I loved it so much. So, yes, any hot beverage. So that could be hot chocolate, coffee, tea, eggnog, if you can find it. A wise man, William Lapham, from who I worked with last year, said this, and he's not wrong. He said, there are a few things that a warm drink cannot cure. And I would agree. There's just something about when you feel kind of crappy, having something warm, hot
Mhm.
chocolate or tea or coffee that just feels right. Feels nice.
Exactly.
Warms up your hands, and then you drink it, and then it warms up your
Mhm.
insides as it works its way down to your tummy. Yeah, it's pretty much the best thing ever. So yeah. So and this one, I would say it doesn't even necessarily need to be an alcoholic beverage. I just like a warm beverage when I feel kind of crappy. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yeah, cool, 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 cool. All right, so that's number two. That's seasonal or subseasonal affect disorder. the little brother of seasonal affect disorder. Okay, let's go to number 3, the post-holiday letdown. What is it? It's a dip in the mood after the holidays, and it's due to unmet expectations, financial strain, or the abrupt end of the festivities. You guys all know what I'm talking about. You feel it literally January 1st. Like halfway through the day, you're hungover, the holidays are over, the next day work is staring at you in the face. Yes. So how to deal with it? Well, I would start with leaving your Christmas lights up. We leave our Christmas lights up year round, and honestly, it just feels nice. All of a sudden, that dark time of year, you look out and there's some Christmas lights. We have both of our neighbors do the same thing. They leave their Christmas lights up, and it's really nice. It just when we drive up to our house at night and those little white lights are on, you're just like, look how cute our house is. I love it, and it just makes you feel good. So yes. As far as the food pairing that goes with this, my food pairing is simply, I'm going to say, I didn't really do a food pairing with this. I've basically just done drink pairings. I would go with St. Brennan's Irish Cream on the rocks. It's delicious. It's got that creamy yumminess. It's great chilled, and it's at a much lower price point than Bailey's, so you can have it despite overspending at the holidays. There you go.
It's funny because the other day I was driving home from work on Friday. I worked in the evening, and I was driving home from work down one of the side streets in Chelsea, and somebody still had their Christmas tree up inside, and it was all bright and shiny and lit, and it made me smile. And I was like, yeah. You go. So, definitely leave your Christmas lights up.
Yeah,
even if
nice.
you're not feeling it, I felt it, and they're not even
Totally.
my Christmas lights. So
I'm telling you, anything you can do to bring light into the world, do it.
yes. So the first thing I said was gin and tonic with a game night. Gin and tonic's one of those summer drinks. It's easy to make. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find good limes this time of year, especially in Michigan. So you can get Citadel makes a nice gin and tonic mix. So if you want to do that, anyway, it's nice and light. And also, have a game night, invite some people over, have a mini tiny party, and then everybody bring a snack or an appetizer to share. So that way, you still have a little something to look forward to where you're getting together with fun people. You're not spending a ton of money, and you're just kind of lifting your mood with people you love. And if you don't want to do the gin and tonic, club soda with juice, club soda with lemon and lime, still has that nice effervescence quality to it. You're still with people you enjoy, playing games you enjoy, eating snacks you enjoy. So there you go.
Awesome. I love it. It looks like your screen is frozen, or is it just me?
I don't know.
It might just be me. I don't know. I can still hear you.
Okay, that's good.
That's all right. Yeah. So you're still with us. I don't know
Okay.
if you're watching the show. Give us a quick comment. Is Ann frozen, or is it just me? Or can you see and hear Ann, or is it just me? Anyway. All right. So that's the post-holiday letdown, and we're kind of coming to the end of that because as we end up with January, you kind of start to recover a little bit, which is nice. So huzzah for that. All right, let's go. Number 4, winter isolate. I can never say this word. Isolationism.
Isolationism. Good.
Whew, there it is. Which is also a foreign policy. Anyway, so.
Oh, man.
Known as cabin fever. What is it? It's feelings of loneliness and disconnection due to limited social. Yes, I think you're back, Ann. But yes, Linnea said your screen was frozen. It wasn't just me, but you're back now. Due to limited social interaction during colder months, often caused by extreme cold and snow. This was the week that you could absolutely. All right, so Jennifer Paget, who's with us. Hello, Jennifer. Linnea, they got her back. So yes. So cabin fever, essentially. This was a good week to cabin fever because it was stupid cold. And Linnea, you there being in the Minnesota region, it was actually really cold there. We were cold here, but in Minnesota they were straight ass cold, where it's like 18, 20 degrees, actual air temperature below zero. And I have forgotten what that's like. We've been gone from that neck of the woods, so I forgot what it's like to tool around when it's 20 below outside. It's not pleasant. So, Ann, why don't you take us through? So anyway, your symptoms is that you just feel sad and lonely, and you long for social connections, and you're all like, you start to get restless or irritable. When we had moved back here in like 2012, those first couple winters, that first winter we were back was really easy. Okay, yes. There we go. Linnea said they got the day off due to the school with the cold, which is rare in Minnesota. It's much more likely that we get the day off because of cold here than it is there. It has to be much colder in the state of Minnesota or the state of Wisconsin to get the day off because of the cold. Here, it has to be like 5 degrees, and there it has to be like 20 below. So
Mhm.
there you go. So yeah, we had Joe and I had been renting that house in Sturgis from Harold and Marlene, and this was like the winter of 14, where it got really we did the whole polar vortex thing, and Joe and I were in the house together pretty much all the time, and that's when he was teaching himself to play the song "Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard" on the ukulele, and by the end of that stretch, there might have been murder in our house. I'm still not okay with that song.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what it is. So, Anne, why don't you take us through your food and drink pairing for this?
Well, I said in order to, deal with some winter isolationism, I said, how about a nice, refreshing Pilsner, which is a type of beer, in case you didn't know. My suggestions are a Euchre Pilsner from Arbor Brewing, Professional Pils from the Drafting Table Brewery, or Bitburger Pilsner. Also, if you can't find one of these, then may I suggest a Miller High Life? Man, there is nothing like cracking open the champagne of beers, especially if you're out eating cheeseburgers or tacos or mussels and frites. Those are great foods that will go wonderfully with a Pilsner. And make sure it's at a big table so you and all your rowdy friends can join you. And there are more and more options for now non-alcoholic beer. Just ask your server. So that's my suggestion. Go to a place. Mm-hmm.
As far as non-alcoholic beers go, Guinness Zero is actually super tasty.
Mm-hmm. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
That's what I keep hearing. So my suggestion, Pilsner, and you should eat some delicious, tacos or cheeseburgers or mussels and frites to go with your Pilsner, which washes those down so yummy good.
Yeah, Pilsner is a nice, light, crispy beer, which is really great. And I would say that's some light, easy drinking. Where were we? We were with you and Duncan we were at the Barrel and Beam in Marquette. They had delicious Pilsner that I had there, so it was awesome. Me likey. All right. I said that you should drink any juice drink. So there are a number of cocktails that are specifically mixed with juices. So things like a screwdriver or a Harvey Wallbanger, which are mixed with orange juice, a Paloma, which is a grapefruit drink, the Sea Breeze and the Bay Breeze, which are cranberry, Bay Breeze is cranberry and pineapple juice, the Greyhound, which is a vodka grapefruit juice, or the Salty Dog, which is a essentially a Greyhound with a salted rim on the glass. You want to these? I'm saying all of these drinks that way you won't get scurvy. You're welcome. So
exactly. So they're superfoods, Jenny.
They are superfoods. You're welcome. Not only will you just be mellow as hell, but you will also fight off scurvy because you'll be intaking your vitamin C with all of these delicious juice drinks. So yeah, this is I'm saving your life. I'm keeping you from getting scurvy. So there you go. And granted, we live in a situation now where we are rarely isolated. Even when it's cold, we can still go to the store and we still go out in our cars and things like that. But still, it's still fun to pretend, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Whatever excuse you need.
That's right. So cabin fever, as it is basically when people lived in log cabins in the middle of nowhere and they could not go out for months at a time. So
yeah,
old timey fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so here we are. These are the ones that I made up. First one is resolution regression. What is it? It's the realization that it's the third week of January and your resolution plan is basically just all blowed up. So, yeah, it happens. Things happen. Your symptoms is that you end up feeling like an asshole, self-loathing, and yet more self-loathing. So, there you have it. So, how to deal? Apparently, positive self-talk is a thing. I don't know. That's never been a thing for me. So
shut up, you fucking loser, and do it. Is that positive self-help talk?
The end is where you're telling yourself to do it. So yeah, I'm not good at that. So anyway,
I'm not very good at it either.
I'm not. I did not grow up in a place where positive self-talk was a thing. So just remember, tomorrow is another day. Find someone that you can call and who will shout out motivational sayings at you. Embrace your failure and have a snack. There you go. So
exactly.
And pain is simply weakness leaving the body. Let's go.
Etc.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pain is temporary, glory is forever.
Okay.
So those are some motivational sayings that you could shout at somebody.
That you could, or you could just do what I do, and you both go out for margaritas, because
You
nothing
go out for
says I surrender like a margarita.
Yeah,
And I
you
like,
know, and the thing. Go
mhm,
ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just saying I like a margarita. I like a fairly traditional margarita, but get whatever you want. You want a peach one with raspberry, whatever. I don't care. But I usually get a traditional one on the rocks, no salt. I love it if you can find a place that does it with actually lemon and lime, and
Mhm.
instead of like margarita mix. But I am not opposed to just throwing one in the size of a bathtub with a lot of ice, and give me one of those giant vacuum straws that people use for their bubble tea. It's like, yeah, I will do that. And then when I go to my Mexican restaurant for my margarita, I like to keep it simple: chips, queso, salsa, ole. Just yummy, 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 yummy. And if you don't want a margarita, you can get a mocktail or a Mexican Coke. That's the Coke in the glass bottle. Also quite yummy as well. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm a
Hmm.
huge fan of just a virgin daiquiri. It's just basically a Slurpee with a lime.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Exactly. Hmm.
Uh I said, based on the New Year's statement, and this goes back to what you said earlier, I'm all about the Miller High Life because it's the champagne of beers. And so, how we traditionally have champagne at the New Year, well, why not have the champagne of beer when your resolutions are all blowed up? So it's like New Year's Eve all over again, except it's not. And of course, Miller High Life pairs extremely well with a burger. I'm going to say, especially the green chili burger at either the Owl Tavern or the Buckhorn Tavern in San Antonio, New Mexico, where especially the owl, where the burgers are especially greasy and delicious, and damn, with
Hmm.
that green chili on it, and you got a High Life at your side. Oh, icy cold.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good. And yeah, so if you can somehow manage that, you are all set. You're going to feel much better about losing out on those resolutions, and
Hmm.
understand that just because you don't do your New Year's resolution, it doesn't mean that your year is over. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah. Pick
yeah.
yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again after you power through some chips, queso, and salsa. I mean, after you've made those things your bitch, you feel much stronger as a human being.
That's so good. And you know what it is? The queso, like salsa's good. I love me some chips and salsa, but chips and queso, it just feels like everything is so much smoother, and it just makes you
Exactly.
feel like it's gonna be okay.
It's
So,
gonna be okay.
Gina Silly, like my Slurpee with a lime. Absolutely. You're welcome.
It's a grown-up Slurpee with a
It
lime,
is. It's delicious.
because we
Yeah.
classy.
Now there was when we were living in Denver, there was this particular place in Denver. It was Hacienda, Colorado, which was a really great Mexican restaurant. Their food was genuinely good, a little bit higher, a little higher class. And I'm sorry that Sam left to go do her show thing, because we would meet when we were feeling that we needed to. We would meet and we would get their swirl margaritas, which is essentially a sangria margarita, which is a frozen margarita where it's sangria swirled in with your margarita. Damn delicious. Yeah, so good.
Ugh.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so definitely I can get behind. And the beauty of the margarita is that there are many varieties.
Mhm.
We were living in Dresser, Wisconsin, that has a really excellent little, strangely excellent Mexican restaurant in the middle of rural Wisconsin, and they had a whole list of margaritas, and their best one was something called the Sexy Margarita, which had Grand Marnier and all kinds of yummy stuff in it. So yeah, and that was, you only got one of those, because anything beyond that, it was instant headache. So
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, one is too many, and two is way too many for me.
well, Ann Brothers is a renowned lightweight, and when Ann has a margarita, she turns into her alter ego, which is known as Margaritan. And yeah, so those of you that are frequent listeners of the show, you know that when Margaritan comes out, the party has just begun. So
Exactly. Talk about a party catalyst. Uh,
yes, that would be Ann when she's Margaritan.
mhm.
So all right, last one, the last of the winter blues. This is a unique one. It's called inauguration aggravation. And what is it? It is a phenomenon that happens every 4 years to about 50% of the American population. The symptoms is that you have this feeling of dread that comes with knowing that asshole is going to ruin everything. Okay. So, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle that you're on. It happens every 4 years to 50% of the population. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off, Anne.
Mhm.
I am choosing to pair this with the old fashioned, which I'm currently drinking And it's basically a glass of drunk, which is what I'm going to be needing for the next 4 years. So there you go. So
Mhm.
anyway, you know how that's as political as I'm going to get. There will be a steady stream of these in me for the next 4 years. If I'm lucky, it will just last 4 years. Okay.
Yeah, I was just
And
thinking that. And so I was also looking at your ways on how to deal with it, Jenny. And I just before we started our show today, I was watching videos of kittens that were best friends with dogs. Oh
love
my
that.
God. I actually started, I was like, I have to stop watching this because I'm getting teary.
Yes. So my advice for dealing with this, other than drinking an old fashioned, is that you do not listen to NPR because it's an absolute shit show of depression. Ignore social media. Watch kitten, wombat, pygmy hippo, and capybara videos. I have good news, Anne. There is a new baby hippo, pygmy hippo, for us to be obsessed with. It's here in the States, and they've just named her Poppy.
Oh, I already love
I know.
her. I already love Poppy.
I love Poppy already, but Moodang, I will always love you.
Mhm.
You're not being replaced. You're just
You're
turning
not.
into the Rudy Huxtable when she turns into a seventh grader. Sorry.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Oh, you're just not as cute, but you're still cute. You do like my
you're so
cats.
cute.
My cats are still cute, but they're not kitten cute. So,
Correct.
but it's too bad because it's my, I love them. So there's nothing I can do about it. Now they suck me in when they're super cute and adorable. And then when they're fat and middle aged, I'm like, oh, I still love you so much.
You're a good kitty. You're a good kitty. Yeah, I
Mhm.
get it. I totally get it. So yeah. Anyway,
So,
yeah. So my drink, the old fashioned, which is essentially pure alcohol. So Anne, what about you?
I said go for something classy like a Pink Lady. I like gin based drinks, and a Pink Lady is a classic gin based drink. Plus, it's just hilarious. It reminds me of something like post World War II, and like I'm going to have a Singapore Sling or a Pink Lady. It's just hilarious. Actually, I think it was
Singapore
invented
Sling.
before then, but you could just see it like having its heyday. So I like a nice gin-based drink, and a Pink Lady is a gin-based drink. And like you said, Jenny, like the old fashioned, it is a drunk in a glass because that's what those late 40s, early 50s, mixed cocktails were. They were drunk in a glass. If you're not a big gin drinker, then maybe a Cosmo or a martini. Like I said, I like to think when they get low, we get drunk, but in style.
Yeah, this whole when they go low, we go high thing, that is over. That don't work.
Anyway, I suggest you pair this with a seafood platter or a seafood tower or a seafood tray, just whatever comes in, the biggest sheet you can get that's covered in seafood. And we don't live in a seafood related state, but you can find a good place, some place with a big old thing, not like fried seafood, but as fresh as you can get it, and end with some sort of flaming dessert if you can. I mean, just kaboom. That's all I have to say. And
so you're basically subscribing sort of an end of the world sort of scenario. I like where this is going.
I totally am. We just finished rewatching Rome, which was a two-season series on now Max. But when Cleopatra and Mark Antony knew that their time was up, man, did they have? This is the party I'm talking about. And of course, you want to have it with you want to enjoy your drunk in a glass and your seafood platters. You want to enjoy this with your most sophisticated-ish friends.
Exactly.
Of course, there are tons of mocktails that are based on these classy cocktails. So if you don't feel like, drinking all that alcohol, then please feel free to get your mocktail but still enjoy all the seafood and your flaming dessert and your sophisticated-ish friends.
Absolutely. Yeah, the beauty of things like a Pink Lady is that if you want to go with a non-alcoholic version, just make yourself a nice juice drink or something with some club soda and some like cranberry juice. They look great. They have that awesome sparkly. The club soda does a great job of cutting the sweet in a juice drink.
Yeah.
And they look great. And once you throw things in a martini glass or a cocktail glass or a highball glass, dude, you're just one of the crowd if you're self-conscious about that. And honestly, I don't think you should ever be self-conscious about not drinking. Embrace it. because there's the evidence is coming in that drinking's not good for you and the consequences can be very high. So that's one of those things where I highly recommend. We live in the age of Uber and Lyft, and I am a huge fan of both of those ride services. And Joe and I mean, even there have been times when we live close to many different bars that we'll Uber it to like Ruggers or something, knowing that we're both going to have a few drinks. We'll Uber it there or Lyft. We've done that before, and it's legit. Do it. So do things to keep yourself safe. Do things to be responsible. If you want to be the designated driver for people, that's fantastic. Excuse me. So yeah, there's definitely many ways to enjoy various cocktails, whether you want to have them boozy or not, whether you want to have non-alcoholic beer. We live in this age where two things are happening. Number one, the cocktail is becoming king again. So, and you mentioned the Pink Lady. The cool thing about Pink Lady is that they are part of what's kind of this cocktail revolution that's going on right now. Beer was the thing, for the last 10 years, and it's kind of reached its apex. And you see a lot more distilleries and places that are making craft cocktails now. And there's a lot of places, especially like right here in the Kalamazoo area, where you can get some really great craft cocktails as well. So yeah. Yeah. Now, if you want to have a home bar, let me go ahead and throw this up there.
Oh, sure.
If you are interested in a home bar, if you don't want, because the big scam when it comes to alcohol is that if I go out and order an old fashioned, the cheapest old fashioned I can normally find is somewhere in the neighborhood of $8, and you can pay, like if you go to Chicago, you can pay $20 for an old fashioned. Mm-hmm. So if you want to, as far as cocktails, the markup on cocktails is like 400%. It's pretty gross. So if you don't want to go out, if you want to enjoy your cocktails at home, these are some essential tools: cocktail shaker, jigger, wine key, bar spoon, strainer, muddler, mixing glass, peeler for twists. And, if you want to stock your bar, you don't have to, pay for the priciest alcohol ever. Stay away from Gibbies. That's all I'm going to say. Don't do that. You deserve better. And, have some mixers around. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of mixers that you see at grocery stores. Look for and pay a little bit more for some of the mixers. Like if you're doing a margarita mix, look for ones that the first ingredient is not corn syrup. Look for the ones where the first ingredient is things like lime juice, and look up there. The internet is just so full of drink recipes now that will teach you how to make a really good sour mix, which is essentially lime juice and sugar and water. So you can do really well without having to ever buy the hated mixes. So
or simple syrups are so easy to make. They are so easy, even I will make them. So that's how easy. And it's just like if you have sugar and water, you can make a simple syrup. So
well, and it's nice too because you can infuse a simple syrup with lots of different things. If you want a simple syrup that has more herbaceous, that's minty, those are all things that you can do as well. And again, the internet is thick with recipes on how to do that, and YouTube is thick with videos on how to make these things. Like if you want to learn how to make an old fashioned, go to YouTube. If you want to learn how to make a Pink Lady, go to YouTube. They will give you everything you need. We live in this age of social media that is both awful and awesome. Awful because of what we've made it do, but awesome because there's still a lot of really great things that you can be a part of. So there you go.
Yeah, and if you're looking to make your mocktail even better, learning how to make a simple infused simple syrup or your own sour mix, that will change your mocktail and make it something beyond just some juice and some spritzer. So
right. Yep. So those things exist. And like I said, the nice thing now is that we are going through not just a cocktail revolution, but we are also going through a revolution where we have that millennial generation, those younger generations that are choosing a more sober lifestyle. And so that you're seeing this elevation in terms of places where you can get non-alcoholic beverages, and restaurants and bars are starting to be more conscious of the fact that they do have clientele that want to come in for the social aspect, but don't want to deal with the drinking. And so they have much larger menus when it comes to their non-alcoholic choices, which I think is a really great thing as well. So,
I think so too.
Huzzah. Yay. That was good. That was a good one. I enjoyed that.
That was fun. That was very fun.
It was. So, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. You did it. You spent another nearly an hour with the brothers sisters learning things about stuff. Today, we learned about different forms of winter blues and lots of different ways to deal with them, including eating and drinking away the blues, because that's what we do. I know.
I know.
But we also talked about the fact that you should get together with your people and go outside and get some exercise too as ways of dealing with your blues. So yay.
Exactly.
All right. So remember, you guys, we want to hear from you. Thanks for having some folks join us today. Linnea, Jen, Jeannie, Sammy. And we love hearing your questions, concerns, comments, and confessions. That's right. Tell us about that time you made that drink. We'd love to hear about it. So
Exactly.
Yes. Remember, you can support us for absolutely free. All you have to do is like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, smash that button. Again, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Get the word out. Spread the word. All that sort of stuff. Also, join us next week when we think we're going to be reviewing a movie. We're still trying to decide what to do. We might be asking Chip, if you're out there and you can hear us, we would love to have you next week. We want to talk about the Oscars that just got nominated. Oscar nominations came out last week. I just saw one of the Oscar contenders, the movie Conclave, which is currently on Peacock. It was banging good. Loved it. So yeah, there's a couple of other ones out there that we will probably have a look at. But in the meantime, we're not entirely sure. Now, and the one I'm really looking forward to that I want to do the week after that, I want to introduce people to the world of roller derby.
I know. I am so excited about roller derby,
Yes.
Jenny Brothers.
Now, here's the thing. Wait, we have a comment. What do we got here? We have Jen Padgett's with us. She says, "Thank you. Going for a hike. Just took my vitamins." Jen Padgett, you're a hero. High five yourself. Go get that walk. It's actually kind of nice today. Kind of nice, kind of sunny in southern Michigan, which is pretty cool. So awesome. Glad we could provide some inspiration for you. So, we have to decide, do we want to talk about roller derby next week or the week after? I kind of want to give everybody a little bit of, hey, this is what roller derby is before we go out and watch the roller derbies.
Well, we're going roller derbying on the 15th. So I think we should do the roller. I think we should. I think we should do on the 8th. And so next week we should talk about some movie. We can decide which movie, but we can talk about some movie.
Yep, we're going to be talking about some movie, so it'll be completely and totally awesome. So until then, I am Janice Brothers. With me is my sister.
And Brothers.
That's right, and we want you to get out there. We want you to do something smart, do something dumb, do something fun. We are out of here.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.